Welcome to Family Jewels, a podcast about people's families. I'm here. My name is Olga Koch. I'm hosting this podcast with my best friend / colleague. It's
Charlie Dinkin. Was I meant to say it a different way?
Have you guys done this before?
No, every time feels like the first time with us. We are joined today by comedian, writer, actor, and may I say, my favourite fact, my birthday twin.
yeah,
Birthday twin, yeah.
It's
huge.
Chloe Pats.
Woo!
Did you have a nice birthday? Our birthday has either recently passed or a long time ago passed, depending on when this comes out.
Well, I had a really nice birthday. So I started with an escape room.
Oh, straight in on escape room.
What theme? What was the theme?
The theme was heist.
10 a.m.
11:30.
Nice and as heists go, 11:30 a.m.
Yeah. I think you've got to be escaping before lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it was a great room. It was Break and Escape in Islington, and very inventive. So you go around opening different stuff with keys that you found, and then eventually there's like one of those like sort of boxes on the wall with a hole for a key next to a shutter, and then you open the shutter and it comes up, and behind it is like this sort of small multi-story car park.
What?
Yeah. And
Wait,
then,
how much space do they have?
like a tiny, like
Oh,
about
okay.
Like a
my
model
height.
of.
Like,
You're not looking out on a multi-story car park.
Imagine it's got you're not looking out of a window on it. A little remote control car.
Oh, I love.
Oh,
like,
okay,
that's-
okay. That is cute.
How cool is that? And then so you have to like park in the different parking spots, and then on the back wall here behind, like opposite, there's been this chain that goes up the whole wall that's been there the whole time, and you're like, what does the chain go to? Pulley system that you use to get the car between the levels of the multi-story car park. How cool is that?
That sounds incredible.
That is delightful.
Like
And then-
that's like a kid who was like into Rube Goldberg machines growing up.
What machines?
Rube Goldberg machines. You know when there's like a chain reaction.
You
it's
like dominoes falling.
Oh yeah, love
Like that
yeah.
someone did that as a kid, and now they're designing escape rooms.
Yeah, I don't think I have the brain for designing in an escape room. Do you think you guys would be good at it?
I think I could do it.
Yeah.
I will confidently back myself and say I think I could.
think if I ask you any question in the world, you'd be like, I think I probably could.
I think I could. Would
Niche
I have
confidence would be
the
amazing.
interest and the attention. I do love to do them, and I love to marvel at the design, as we even have here.
You're also a very crafty person.
I do like to make things as well. I was just saying, it sounds like it's I was just saying in my own head to myself, giving a little novelty automation. Have you been to novelty automation?
Oh my god, you would
Novelty
love
automation?
that.
Oh, you should go to novelty automation.
It's in
Holborn. Yeah.
It is an arcade, but
Yeah.
every arcade machine is like created by an artist, and it's like crazy and fucked up.
But it has
Whoa.
lots of like miniature things of. It's impossible to
Is it
describe.
like puzzles?
Kind of,
Or
but
just games?
they're games, but they're like very, very silly and
More
very
like
high
end of the
concept.
pier. You know, like you put coins in,
Yep.
and so sometimes they're interactive. Sometimes something just happens. Sometimes you're playing a game. Honestly, you'll love it. Just
It's
go.
really cute.
What's your favourite game in an arcade?
I love Dance Dance Revolution.
Do you?
Adore Dance Dance
Straight in.
Revolution. I adore Dance Dance
Are
Revolution.
you good at Dance Revolution?
Okay, so there's two types of machines. There's the machines that like play songs that I know, and then there's the machines that play songs that I don't.
Okay, yeah. Well,
And is that how everyone categorizes them?
yeah.
Machines that organise, machines that organise.
And the ones that I do know, I think I can, because the rhythm is in me. Do you know what I mean? Because I know the beat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas acquiring a new beat while doing DDR, I
No,
can't
it's
do
not.
it. I can't do it.
DDR?
Yeah, I mean that's the pros call it. We don't have enough time to say Dance Dance
What's
Revolution.
yours?
Basketball.
Yeah, and I bet you're
it's
good
good
at it as
stuff.
well.
Yeah, I think I am. I think it's really good to be exceptional though, because you have to be really special to get through the second round.
Yeah.
I'm
When
always
it's
getting to the
moving,
second round.
when the thing is moving, or
Oh yeah.
also, do you know that the hoop isn't circle, it's oval, and that's why people don't get it because they think it's closer than it actually is. It's a flat
Every
oval.
single time I do it, I always want to do it. Not my favorite. Zoltar, my favorite, obviously.
Zoltar?
You love a Zoltar, a fortune teller
Oh, but
machine.
he just tells you what's happening.
Yeah, and I like that the best.
There's
That's
no
my
game
favourite
there.
one. That is
You
my
can't
game.
win Zoltar.
Delightful
I was
to
thinking
me.
then someone said something.
It's my favourite. It's the only one I care to do. But I will always do a basketball.
You will always do.
And then
basketball.
netball is within me. Do you know what I mean? You can't shake it from you.
Yeah.
So the first one goes in every time. But then I get so excited that I got one in that then I can never get another one in.
Okay.
Oh.
We need to work on your...
Staying flat. I got to stay calm, emotionally calm through the throw.
It's what happens is I've been doing a lot of yoga recently. Yeah. Thank you.
Very cool.
Very good.
Thank you. And I've started to get... I've been historically quite bad at it, but I'm getting quite good at it. And I'm learning how to do crane pose, and I just get my feet off the ground, and then I get so excited that I
Collapse.
I shit myself and stack
Oh
it.
yeah, great. That's great. Ryan.
Fart, stack it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
what are
I
you doing?
kind of
How are you getting over that?
Well, do you know why would you try and dampen your own excitement?
Oh, that's
I
so
think-
yogic of you.
I think
love
I'm
that.
just made to always fall onto my face when I do crane.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, aren't you doing it to feel good? And the excitement is feeling good.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you walk me through a Zoltar before we get
Yeah,
to the actual
Zoltar.
point of this subject?
A Zoltar can be of any type in the machine. You put in your pound, you
Yeah.
get your fortune,
Does
and then
he
you
touch you?
discuss it with your friends. No, you've done a Zoltar. You've seen Big.
Yeah, I have seen Big, but I just no, I don't think I have done Zoltar.
I just don't think that's a game. I just think,
It does not qualify as a game.
yeah.
It's so delightful to me. I feel so excited every time I see
Give me an
one.
example of a fortune it would tell you.
Well, you just get a little card, and then it'll always have
Oh,
something.
he's not
in it
even
that's like-
saying anything? He just gives
It
you a
goes
card?
like, I am Zoltar. I will read your. And sometimes it's a lady one, and sometimes it's like there are all kinds of different ones. Anyway, the fun thing is the Zoltar ones are from the movie Big, right? Have you seen the movie Big?
Yeah, but
Are
Tom
they
Hanks-
from it?
They are from
Wait, they
the movie
invented
Big.
them?
There were fortune teller machines
Yeah.
before that, but the Zoltar branded machines are from Big, and
That's
everyone was just
crazy.
like, "This is the one. This is the one we want now."
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Do you get any, like, if you're trying to build up your arcade points?
yeah.
do
No,
they
you get nothing.
No, I don't think it's worth your pound then.
But I just feel like when I read my fortune, I really try and take my fortune seriously.
I do
Okay.
love mysticism.
I think
Okay.
why not this? This could be the fortune that applies to me.
Why
you
not
know,
this?
why not this?
I love that.
It's randomized, but
Why not this?
why not this?
I really love that. And why not speak to Chloe Pets about their family?
How was your birthday?
It was nice, thank you.
Yeah.
I went to Pilates. That's what I'm doing a lot of now.
Really great.
I'm out of my yoga era and into my Pilates era briefly,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure I will be back into my yoga era because fundamentally I do have ADHD and I cannot stick with anything.
Pilates really is like the thing of the moment, right?
Yeah.
It was spin, and then it was boxing, and then it was a military boot camp styles, and now it's Pilates.
Why do you think Pilates is having its moment?
I just think that we always need a new sort of thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
all
every
just
now and
loops
then.
around.
Zumba. I can't wait for it to be dance again because I just want to pop and lock.
You can pop a look if you want.
Are you still going to
you
your
sure?
dance class? You were going to a dance class.
Yeah. Erica and I went last week, and it was called All Levels. But by all levels, it means professionals. And then if you
I get
have
scammed by that every time.
the lack of disrespect for yourself to try and go along with people who are doing it for a living, it was really embarrassing. Because every
Me
time I
trying to
tried
go
to
to
dance,
an-
a really hot skinny girl came up to me and would say, "Can you film me, please?"
Oh my god, stop. You were the cameraman.
But I think you're doing a service to that class, which is you're a cautionary tale to the rest of the people that are in it.
Well, at least you're not that bitch.
God, they're like dancing hard because they're like, I don't want to be like her.
This is me trying to get into intermediate tap. Sometimes I'll go to a beginner's tap class. That's the thing I'm still doing.
I'd like to learn how to tap dance.
Do you know what?
actually.
I love it. I'm
No.
so bad at it. I never get any better at it.
I would like to just be able to know how to tap dance.
Yeah.
There's a distinction.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you've got a trilby now. Chloe got a
Oh,
trilby
yes.
for their birthday, so
you?
you can
Yeah.
start tap.
On Friday evening, I had a little party, and Joe Griffin, the comedian, she was like, "Here's your gift. Here's your card. Read the card first. It will explain the present."
There is context.
Well, yeah, and then I read the card and was like, okay, like, lovely happy birthday message, that's lovely. Opened it, Trilby. No mention of Trilby in the card. But I directed her show and she spoke a lot about Trilbies, so
well, there
she
you
was
go.
like, I need a Trilby. And then I sort of locked onto the Trilby in my drunken state, and it looked very contextual with my outfit. Like, it
Okay.
looked like I'd chosen to put
Sick.
the Trilby on. And then when we went to the club, genuinely people would come up to me and then like recoil in horror
In your trilby in the club?
in my Trilby in the club. I think they were like,
In the club with my trilby.
but can you, I can't quite work out the psychology of why everyone was recoiling from me in the Trilby. I think maybe they were sort of like unnerved by
But they were
thought that-
drawn to you first before they were
No, it
recoiling,
would just be like
or
if
in
I was like
general
walking
recoiling?
past, or go, "Excuse me, mate," and they go, "Oh, yeah."
It's just such a
Whoa.
confident personality choice, a Trilby. It always has been. It's like,
No, but I think it's that people were looking at me like having cognitive dissonance and feeling a level of discomfort because they thought I didn't realise that I was committing social suicide.
I think they were just absolutely.
Bowled over.
I think they thought they were intimidated by your sexuality.
Really?
yeah.
And every single one of them, I did doff it and go, "Milady."
Well, there you go.
It's the
Now
milady.
you know
It's
the
the milady.
answer.
Okay, can I ask a scientific question?
Yes.
Is there a difference between a fedora and a trilby?
Ooh.
There must be.
Ooh.
Isn't Trilby related to that?
I'm
There's
Googling
like a
this.
story. There's like a story called Trilby, which is like 100-year-old story that I studied in my master's, my psychoanalysis master's.
Jeez.
That is one of the first ever stories of someone being like put into a trance publicly. There's like a
What the
magician.
Well,
fuck
that's
are you talking
that's
about?
exactly
is
what Chloe
Trilby
was doing.
related.
Chloe was
There
putting
you
people
go.
in the trance.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm breadcrumbing. You can go find the answers, but the answer is in the story.
Well, but it's interesting how we've interpreted that question, because when you said, "Is there a difference between a trilby and a fedora?" I thought it was very clear that stylistically there's a difference between those two things. They're not the
Oh.
same thing. But is that what you were asking? Because
Oh, I
was,
can't.
yeah,
think
she
of a
meant
difference.
literally.
No, but I was thinking your question was more like, is there a difference in vibe between a trilby and a fedora?
My question was by design. I think they're
Yeah,
the
yeah,
exact
I
same
think
hat,
there
but
is-
they're clearly not.
I know there's a difference.
Trilby and fedora hats are both iconic styles.
Okay.
Don't I know it?
Did a Trilby / fedora write this? Okay.
That originated in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, but they have some key differences. Brim, crown, style, material, suitability, and popularity.
And I would also say provenance. I think they probably come from different.
I believe you. I
Areas.
completely believe you.
But both so beloved by
Can I say
one
that-
14-year-old boy in every class.
They're considered a staple for hat enthusiasts.
You got your Trilby, you got your fedora, you got your beret.
Yeah, beret.
Trilbies are good for semi-casual occasions and pair well with slim trousers and fitted shirts. Fedoras can be worn both for casual and formal events.
So I guess what I'm hearing is people were like, this is a Trilby and this feels more like a formal event.
Exactly.
Right.
At the
They were
club.
shocked.
They were shocked, right? They were like, "You've misread this." They're,
You got dead wearing a trilby with a slim band.
the club is jeans and a nice top and a fedora. You've got wide-leg trousers, a shirt, and a trip. That is social suicide.
Well, we all learned something today. Have you been wearing it after that? Are you going to wear it again?
No.
That's okay.
But I like, I hung up a white shirt like on a hanger to dry, and it was sort of just like hanging in the air, and then I put my trilby over the same thing, and it does look like I've created sort of like a puppet magician.
Got a little friend.
Yeah, a little friend. I'm just like, "Hello, my lady." So yeah, I have sort of created. I have created out of it, but I won't be wearing the trilby again. I'm afraid.
Right. So it's there as a sort of a magician one night stand. That's just
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, it's a magician stadium. Yeah, it's good. It's good to give that impression to anyone else who comes in.
I'm terribly sorry. We have to get on
Family
Yeah,
topic.
we must
chills.
talk about
I'm
families.
so sorry.
That really
Chloe,
is the purpose.
Tell us about where you grew up and your immediate family.
Yeah, I think I'm really lucky. I have a good family. So I grew up in Sittingbourne in Kent, as I'm sure
Kent Massive.
both of you know. Are you from Kent?
I am.
Sittingbourne
we're
is-
Kent, and we have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh
Meant
my
to be.
God. Which hospitals were you born at?
I was born in London. Were you born in Kent?
Yes, and I was a home birth.
Were you actually?
Yeah.
I was,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Was it in like a tub?
No, I think it was on a bed. So my mum had like a horrible birth with my brother, and he was a forceps delivery, and this is really horrible. But he was born because of the forceps. He was born with like a broken jaw,
Ugh.
and his eye was like that, and he had to have like this
Yeah, that's
operation
stressful.
to wind his eye back in. And she was like, "Well, obviously, I'm never having another
Yeah, that's
child
traumatic.
in the hospital." So I was born at home, and I was born perfect.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh, we can tell.
There you go.
But yeah, so I grew up with my mum and my dad, Jill and Tony, and my brother Peter.
How much older than you is Peter?
Peter is like 20 months older than me.
Oh, you're
Oh,
really
wow.
close.
Really close.
Back to
yeah.
back. So you don't remember life?
No,
I mean, you
no.
wouldn't because you're
Would you
younger.
remember?
Yeah, there was that time when he was 5 where he went away for 6 months. I don't know where he went.
I should be better at family questions. Given
We're
how
already
many episodes of this podcast.
So do you know about your siblings?
See, your younger brother. He's younger.
Were you close? Have you always been friends, always through your whole lives, or were there eras of more or less friendship?
No, me and my bro, we're solid. Yeah, we've always been quite solid. I think it's like because he's a very like kind, patient, and benevolent person. He's like very non-judging, and I think I was a little bit annoying as a kid, but he wouldn't argue with me. He just let me whinge, and then I get over it, and we sort of carry on.
What does he do for a living with all that patience?
Car salesman.
Okay.
What a twist.
But I would say that the bit of him that is relevant to the car salesman is that he just gets on with everyone.
Yeah, I love that. You have to be just like interpersonally excellent, don't you, to be in any kind of sales?
And sometimes like he's like really smart in a lot of areas and incredibly like socially smart, but sometimes like in other areas he's a bit thick. And I think one of the nicest qualities about him is that like he's sort of too thick to judge anyone. Do you know what I mean?
A compliment only a sibling can give.
I think he'd like that if I said it, but like he's so smart in so many areas, but like it just doesn't occur to him to judge people.
Yeah, that's
Too
really
thick
nice.
to be judgmental.
Yeah,
That's
That's
nice.
gorgeous.
That's
so like
lovely.
anyone could walk in, and he's always like, yeah, the gay, like when gay guys come in at work, they fucking love me. And I was like, yeah, it's because like they're scared to go and buy a car off like a big like burly car geezer, and you make them feel like really comfortable and at home. He's like, oh yeah, maybe okay.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
He's solid. And what was great about my brother is like when we were probably like the ages of like 7 to 12, before he sort of like grew up and started doing more grown up stuff, we would just go round on our bikes, just collecting everyone that we like Robert Seawood, Ryan Dunning. And we'd knock on and be like, "Is Robert there?" And then Robert would get his bike, and then we go cycling up the park. And then we might go to like the nature reserve and make a den, or like everyone back to mine, and then we'd do like figure of eights on the back garden and ruin the grass, and Dad would come in and roll his eyes. But what was good is when we were like a bit younger and we were sort of doing like imaginary play, my brother would never make me be like a shit character. I never had to be Princess Leia.
Aww.
I was always like some kind of like cool Jedi. And it would be Robert Seawood that would get tied to. We'd always
Okay, in my mind, this person's last name is C-word.
Seawood.
Okay.
Seawood.
I was like, if she's saying cunt.
What?
Robert C. Word.
No,
Robert Cunt. Yeah.
Robert
I was like,
Cuntslayer again.
Thanks so much for sort of censoring yourself on the podcast so we don't have to.
Just your childhood friend, Robert Cunt.
Is Bob cunt? Is Bob cunt here? Sorry, is Bob cunt in?
Mrs. Cunt is Bobby.
My name is Seaward.
Anyway, we'd tie the little cunt to the to the climbing frame, and I remember one time we tied him to the climbing frame, and I think we like left him. And I just remember my mum running down the car and going, "Oh, don't worry, Robert. I'll untie him."
Oh, Robert!
Don't worry, Robert.
He's just excited to be included.
Yeah, that's so sweet. So they were
We
like
put makeup on him like Princess Leia.
nearby neighbours.
Yeah. So they were like, we lived on. Oh, well, I'm not going to dox my family.
Don't talk to your family. You lived on a street.
Well,
You live in a place.
um,
And nearby to that place.
yes, and he sort of lived on. There was like, you could literally look out the window and see the road that Ryan and
That's
Robert
useful.
lived on.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a movie.
Oh, it was great. It was like it's probably the last of the generation of
Yeah.
like going around on our bikes,
Yeah.
not worried about paedophiles.
Yeah. And
Very
now,
Stranger Things coded.
Very strange.
But all
things.
the nice scenes. I've never seen it.
Stranger like.
I'm assuming it's some sort of
they
horror
ride around
thing.
on their bike.
That's what I think the plot is.
That is more or less the plot, actually.
And now they're like 24 being like, I'm 12.
Her name's 11.
Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun.
So your parents,
Yes.
are they from Kent? How did they meet? How old were they when they had you? I want to know
Great
the love
question.
story of the pets.
So,
Love story.
Mum is from Sittingbourne, and she grew up on the road that Ryan and Robert grew up.
Oh,
my
my
God.
God.
She made
So
it one
that
street
road,
away.
she made it one street away, and she was actually like lived opposite Ryan, and so she was from Sittingbourne, and then Dad was from Bromley, and they both worked for the Met Police, and they started when they were 16,
Oh, my God. So, like, straight out of school.
straight out of school. So you just like, you know, it was the days where you didn't go to uni, you just went and got a job.
Both 16, same time, same
Both
age.
16, same time. Both.
Okay.
Do you
born in
know their
1964.
motivations? Why did they want to join the Met Police?
I don't know. I think it's just what you did at the time. Like, you just found like a stable job with a good pension. Mum's always talking about pensions.
Yeah.
She's like,
That-
great pension.
That does sound like the kind of place you get
Yeah.
a good pension.
That sounds
Yeah.
like something a mom would say.
Yeah, and I guess
Don't
like,
worry, Robert. I'm on time.
don't worry, Robert.
Have you thought about pensions?
Coming in with a makeup wipe.
Ooh, don't tell your mother, Mrs. Khan. And so, yeah, and I suppose there was like less critical analysis of whether joining the police force was an ethical thing to do at the time. And anyway, so I think they were both working there for a couple of years. They talk about fingerprints a lot. I think one of them was Mum was working in fingerprints.
That's exciting.
And I don't know, I think she just took fingerprints because like it used to be when it wasn't automated.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also, like,
literally
pre-digital-
ink pad it.
Pre-digital, so they would ink pad it onto like little cards, so you'd have all 5 fingers on the
That's
cards,
exciting.
and then she would sort of put them in files, I guess.
That's cool.
That is cool.
But so Dad was working in a different department, Mum was working in a different department, so they didn't know each other for like a couple of years. And the way they talk about it, like, it sounds like a fucking riot. Like they would like have parties like every Friday.
Doing dick prints.
Yeah.
Come on, get the ink out. Let's go.
I'm sure they did bum prints with the ink. But Dad would be like, yeah, we just have like these parties where everyone would push all the desks back, and like their mate, like Stuart, would bring in his DJ decks. And
That
they
sounds sick.
yeah,
At the police station?
at the
Wow.
police station.
Fuck yeah.
So Dad was quite a star footballer, and
I believe it.
he was really good at football. And he played for the Met Police team, who did pretty well. And he went to a party, and Mum's colleague invited her to that party, and it was the awards. It was the awards for like the end of year awards for the football team. And
He was on home turf. He was going to look good.
yeah, he was going to.
Oh, he was like the star of the show.
And so my dad is like 6'4". Like, he was obviously like ripped and athletic. He's pretty handsome guy. Mum was beautiful, and so they went there, and Mum was like, yeah, we were both absolutely hammered. Got introduced to each other. Dad won the award. Player
Oh,
of the season.
post them meeting. So she's like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so then I don't know what happened on the night. They're a little bit coy. Maybe they had a snog, blah blah blah. But Dad was like, "Do you wanna go for a drink with me?" And they exchanged numbers.
Romeo and Juliet.
They like arranged to meet. I think after work one day, and they went to a pub by Victoria that I've been to loads of times, but I can't remember the name of. And Mum was like, we were both so pissed we couldn't remember what each other looked like, but I just remembered.
Is he holding his football trophy?
Yeah. She was like, I just remembered he was tall, so I could have just gone with any tall man. And then the rest was history.
Aww.
What? So she did fingerprints. What did he do?
I can't remember. He did loads of different stuff. The only stories that he's really told me about at work was just when they pushed the desk backs and the DJ decks came in.
That's pretty fun.
That's the
a
important
fun
stuff.
Story.
Yeah.
And so they met at this pub and they fell in love. Inseparable since. Are they in love now, would you
They're
say?
so in love. Like, they like each other so much. It's crazy.
Oh.
They get on so well. We get on so well. They're just really nice people. Yeah. My dad is so gentle and cool. Do you want to hear the story that you'll find really hot?
Yeah.
So my dad is
What
still
a weird
like,
intro to a story about your dad, but I live
no,
for it.
because everyone I've told this story to, like every sort of person, every person that dates men has been like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
You guys ready to get wet?
So
Daddy.
I took Dad to the football like last year or something, and we were in the pub beforehand, and it was on one of the days where some like Tommy Robinson shit was going down. So there was like a lot of like football fashion around basically, and they were like they were always little guys in all black, like with their sort of balaclavas ready to go, like leather jackets, like they've always got like a flag which is like, you know, fascist. And there were some of them stood in the corner, and we were in the pub, and we were just like having a catch up. And I was introducing Dad to my football friends, who are like this range of sort of like older to younger blokes. And my dad did this, like, not even trying, but he has this like incredibly like calming quality for men, because he's so tall, but he speaks so quietly. So everyone just like chilled out,
nice.
and everyone like came to him, and all of the sort of like bravado just disappeared. And then went and got a pint. Dad's pint was on the table. My pint was in my hand. And one of the fash comes past and is basically like knocks my dad's pint over. Not on purpose, but doesn't turn around, doesn't say sorry, doesn't say I'll buy you another pint, doesn't say anything. Just like turns and goes, phew, and then goes back to his mates. And there's probably about 5 of them. And I go like, sorry mate, are you gonna say sorry? You're going to buy my dad another pint? And this guy comes towards me and he's like, what the fuck did you say? And he's like doing this. And my dad just steps in front of me and went to this guy, it doesn't matter, it was an accident. And the guy went, what? And my dad goes, it doesn't matter, it was an accident. And the guy was like totally disarmed and just turned away and went back to his friends. And I was like, oh my God, Dad, you just like, I was so ready to like go. And my dad just like showed such strength.
This is the masculinity we need.
Yeah, how cool is that?
To just completely take all of it, like all of the tension out of the situation.
And then like I was so jumped up and fuming, and my dad was like, "It's all good. Like that's only gonna end in tears." How cool is that?
That's amazing.
That is so wonderful.
And that's the kind of energy you want in the police as well.
Yeah, it is one of those things where like my dad is, it's really difficult because like, you know, obviously we're sort of all ACAB and stuff, but if someone did have to work for the police, I'd rather it be my dad.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is
Can
so
we
cool.
dive into the many things your mother has done in
Oh,
her life?
yeah,
Because
what
the
she-
jobs that she's had are incredible.
So only in the police for a little bit.
Yeah, I think she
She was
probably-
fingerprinting. She completed it.
she was
there was
fingering.
nothing
she met her
else to
husband. She partied her little ass
Yeah,
off.
she did what any woman joins the police to do: meet a nice, tall, hot football player.
Yeah, she actually killed it there. Yeah, so I don't remember how long she probably worked in the police up until she had me and my brother. So they had my brother at 28 and me at 30. And, or was it 30 and 30? It doesn't matter. And then Mum has done so much stuff. She was a childminder for a bit when we were little. And
Just chuck another couple of them in.
chucking Oliver and Joseph.
Mr. Cunt.
Yeah. Get them round.
The young Mr. Cunt.
Cunt was never paid for. He would just come play with us and get tied up to the...
Cunt's on the house. Yeah.
But Oliver and Joseph, they would come round, and they lived just around the corner from us, but they would be there for like 3 or 4 hours.
So you just like grow up in a gang.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's so fun.
And I remember one of the funniest things I think has ever happened to me was that we were eating spaghetti bolognese at the table, all 4 of us, me, my brother, Oliver and Joseph, and one of us was like, you know, you can check if spaghetti is cooked if you throw it at a wall.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, but from the one
Yeah.
piece on the wall.
One
Wait, so
piece
what-
at like tiled wall.
And if it's stuck, then
If
it's
then it's
cooked?
cooked.
Okay.
But we were like, yeah, we should probably check if every piece of spaghetti is cooked. And threw it at the painted wall. And then I remember we were laughing so hard. And then I just looked up. Oliver laughed so hard that a piece of spaghetti came out of his nose. And imagine being 8 years old and you're already crying with laughter. We were choking. So
Amazing.
she was a childminder for a bit, and then she worked in Sainsbury's for a bit, and then she worked at a funeral director's.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, so she was just around dead bodies all the time. I didn't really sort of think about that when I was a child, that she was just like looking at the dead bodies, and like her office, there would just be like some corpse behind her while she was tapping
What was she
away.
doing at the funeral directors though? Not being a nut. a
Mortician.
mortician.
Not being an mortician.
I was going to be like Undertaker, but maybe she was an Undertaker. Maybe
What is an undertaker?
Well, I feel like an Undertaker maybe like just like does the funerals, but she wasn't
this
like
for you?
doing the bodies.
She wasn't doing the bodies, no.
So
No, but you are still around them all the time. An undertaker is a person whose business is preparing dead bodies for burial and cremation and making arrangements for funerals.
So in
So
a
I
way
don't
she
think
was
it's
an
No,
a...
so the undertaker was her boss,
Yes.
Martin Bourne.
yes.
Now, Martin Bourne owned the business, and it's going very well. I think they've expanded.
People keep dying.
People keep dying.
Will not stop.
And he was married for a bit to Jane Bourne, who lived just round the other corner from us on the same road as Oliver and Joseph. You know, it all
links back.
ties up. Now, she was a funeral director, and then for a bit she retrained as a forensic person. Not a forensic scientist, I don't think, but one like a person that turns up at crime scenes.
Wait, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
She did that.
So
in
she's like
Folkestone.
analyzing blood splatter, all that stuff?
Yeah, she didn't do that for a bit. She only did that for a bit, and it was when me and my brother were very small. And I think I always worried when I was a child for a very long time that because I didn't handle her being away very well, that I was the one that had stopped her from doing the job.
Aww.
But I think she later told me like her boss was horrible.
I bet it was really weird erratic hours because you just have to go. Do you not have to just go when someone's died?
Well, yeah, and I remember so clearly. So again, I was probably about 7, and Mum got called to this like big murder case in Folkestone, and it was fucking horrible. Like, I'm not going to say the details because it was horrible, but there was like multiple people dead, and it was going to be on the news. So my dad was like, "Kids, Mum's going to be on the news." So
ignore everything.
Volume off.
So like Dad turns on the news, it's like, kids, come it's her turn. And then it gets to the section of the news where because it was the big leading story on the Rolling News, and then we're like, well, how are we going to tell who she is, which one she is, because they're all in the white thing.
Oh my God.
And then we're like, we're never going to know who she is. But then we just saw this woman like pottering around the scene, like she was like dusting stuff, but with the mood of like making a cup of tea. And we were like, there she is. That's Mum.
You could just see the body language of the person in the white suit.
Yeah, just like like pottering around this gruesome hammer murder. Like, is everyone okay? Does anyone need anything?
That's amazing.
They should have a concerned mother on every crime scene.
I
feel,
think so.
To just like
Or number them up
for
like
the
a football
vibes.
team, so
For the
you know.
vibes. Anybody
Yeah.
want a cup of tea?
Yeah. Just, is everyone okay?
Do you want a hug?
Just to stand up, like they're probably just jealous. Like,
I love her doing that for a bit. That's a cool, interesting
that's really
job.
cool. Yeah. And then she started working in the prison service, and she worked there probably for about 15 years, and then she just retired recently.
What kind of prison was it?
So are you familiar with the Isle of Sheppey?
No. What is that?
The Isle of Sheppey is an island just, I don't even know, like, is it just, I think, slightly off the coast of Kent, so it's next to Sittingbourne, and you can get on it one way and off it one way by this bridge.
Okay.
And it's like an old naval town, and when you go on it, it's like weird. Have you been?
I think so when I was like a little child, though.
Weird vibes. It's like very League of Gentlemen-y, like
Like a time machine almost.
yeah, and there's like people on the Isle of Sheppey that have never been off the Isle of Sheppey.
Okay.
And also, so here's the facts about the Isle of Sheppey to sort of sum it up. The writers of the In-Betweeners would go there when they were writing the series of In-Betweeners for inspiration. It's got the UK's largest sex shop in it.
Wait, okay, that is absolutely not where I thought you were going with that.
That's an amazing fact.
And it's also home to 4 prisons.
What the fuck?
Or maybe 4 prisons.
There's a lot going on Sheppey.
And it gets referenced a lot in Dickens because, like, one of the reasons why it's got a lot of prisons on it is because, like, it's got a history of, you know, like prison boats.
Yeah.
They would, like, dock off the coast of Sheppey.
That sounds like the most cursed place I have ever heard in my life.
I forgot another good bit. There's also, like, a World War II ship that got sunk, which has loads of live ammunition in it, and if it ever goes up,
I do remember learning
then-
about that.
Then what? Then we're gonna lose the UK's biggest section. No, say it ain't so.
just floating dildo. It's just, yeah, it will. If it goes up, then it will submerge the whole of Sheppey.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
So there's lots of prison work available.
Mum's worked in all of the prisons.
Okay, wait. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like a prison crawl.
Yeah, she's done a
Okay,
prison.
we need to write a sort of sci-fi thing where it blows up and all the prisoners are freed because of the.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
that's actually a good idea.
Sci-fi. Why sci-fi?
Well, I guess in the sense of that it's fantasy.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So she worked on all four.
She worked on all four, yeah, and she did loads of different jobs. So like, she was initially just admin, and then she was delivering classes and skills classes to like prisoners to sort of like help them think about what they did.
Yeah.
You know, and then she started working in litigation, which is basically like if prisoners make a claim against the prison, then she had to like collect all of the evidence to give to the lawyer.
Does she have like strong views about prison conditions or prison abolition or any of that?
Yeah, big time. One of the reasons why she really struggled the last couple of years, because before she retired, because I think she'd like been in the prison service for so long and had such a like hope that like things could change and that it would like lean further towards rehabilitation rather than like, you know,
yeah, it's like
prisons.
punitive now.
Punitive, that's the word. Yeah, and I think she really was like the manifestos of the prison is to like rehabilitate and support prisoners back out into to society. And then I think 15 years in, she was just like, well, nothing's changed. If anything, it's got worse.
Sucks.
I've got to leave because I thought I could do some change here, and I've just not. So yeah, and I don't think the culture of the prison is great.
Oh God, it is. I mean, it is fucked. And the fact that like when you leave prison, there's so few work opportunities for you, and you sort of are like
except
blacklisted
for in
everywhere.
those
Redemption's Coffee
Redemption
Roasters.
Coffee, absolutely fucking everywhere now.
You can work for Redemption Coffee or Timpsons. Those are your two options.
There you go. There you go. And now your mom is
Retired.
and writing books.
Yeah, well, she wrote a book. Yes.
What?
Jill Pets, come
Jill
on.
Pets wrote a book. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, really good.
She just sat down and wrote a book.
Just sat down and wrote a book. She
I think she's
actually
my role
started
model.
writing a book.
What a life.
Do it all.
She started writing a book. The first time she started writing a book was when she was working at the funeral directors because she had time on her hands. So she was like, "Hey, corpses, let's go."
That's amazing. So she has been writing for a long time.
She's been writing for a long time. I think she lacks a little bit of confidence around it. I wish she would do more because she's really amazing. But she wrote this book called White Scar, and it was like a children's / young adult fantasy novel.
That's amazing.
And the central protagonists were like me and my brother. Really cute. And it was like set across 2 different timelines. So like in 100 years previously, a witch was being tried, and her sentence was she was going to be like cast into this cave, and the cave was going to be like covered over. She wouldn't be able to escape. But then as she was cast into the cave, she pulled the mare down, and her cat came down too. And her cat came down too. And they were sort of like, they were all trapped together in the cave. They couldn't get the mare out. And then 100 years later, they're doing like, the 2 kids are doing like this commemoration of what happened with the witch and the mare. And the boy, much like my brother would, uses too much gunpowder for the fireworks, and it opens the cave up, and the witch and the mare escape. And it's like, oh shit, they're being chased.
That's so cool.
It's really
so cool.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Oh my God.
She smashed it.
Good for her. How do you like your representation of you within the book? Do you feel seen?
Great. Yeah, like I'm so smart in it, and
Love that.
yeah, it's very much forceps delivery versus not forceps. Yeah, no,
That's
it's
the
very
subtext of the book, of course. The message.
Yeah.
When you were a child, did
Yeah.
you have jobs that you wanted? Like, what job did you want to have at any point? I'm interested with those parents and having a mum that with many different types of jobs, but sort of crime related. Lots of crime related things. Not that I'm saying, were you considering going into crime? But were you considering...
From either end, really.
From either end, did it interest you? Or
No.
what were you interested in?
No, I never wanted to commit crime nor stop it.
Good. Crime just happening away from you.
I was crime agnostic.
Good.
Would you watch like procedurals at home?
Yeah, we loved The Bill.
Yes.
We loved The Bill. Tuesdays and Thursdays, me and my brother would be allowed to stay up to watch The Bill. If I had too many naughty sweets, which were the red fruit pastels, then Mum would say, you need to start behaving or you're not allowed to watch The Bill. And I would just immediately start behaving. I loved The Bill. It was weird. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a horse rider, but I never
I thought it was going to end on horse.
I wanted to be a horse.
But you hadn't ridden a horse?
Never ridden a horse.
Were you seeing horses around? Just on TV and like in books and stuff?
I don't know where I was getting it from. I just thought, that would be fun. And then Mum took me to ride a horse and I was like, oh, this is a bit scary.
Yeah, but that must be the most exciting. If you think your kid is going to want to be in horse riding and you're like, fuck, this is going to be expensive. And then they go on it once and they're like, actually, no. That's kind of what my brother did. I bet my parents were like, fuck yeah.
I did do it for a bit. Like, I weirdly had this thing as a kid where like I put so much pressure on myself and no one, like I was like, I've got to be a horse rider. And I hated it. So I did like 8 horse riding lessons and then I was like, I don't want to horse ride anymore. And then I played football. I wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
And then when it got a bit serious when I was a teenager, again, I started hating it, but put so much pressure on me. I've got to play football.
Yeah.
But then I quit when I was 16. And what I really wanted to be was an actor or a musician or something like that.
You are.
We're on our way.
I'm a stand-up.
We're on our way. We're on our way.
We're on our way.
We're on our way.
Do you think this is a stepping stone, being a stand-up?
Yeah. And then you'll be in a sitcom called Chloe Pets. Cock.
Chloe Pets.
You're going to be in a film about exploding the stuff off the side of the
you're going to play yourself. They're
prison
going to
island.
CGI the way that they did with Robert De Niro in the Irishman. They're going to age you down.
The owner of the sex
You play
shop.
yourself in White Scar.
Yeah, or I'll also be in the sci-fi of the tsunami.
Exploding the prison and the sex shop.
Yeah.
So I can do both of them.
Do you want to be working at the sex shop at the time?
Yeah. Or just like
the role.
frequenting it.
Yeah.
Or
Your loyalty card?
or I could like be in prison for
Robbing the sex shop.
robbing the sex shop.
Oh, yeah, that's
or
fun.
like being framed for robbing the sex shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're out and you got to clear your name.
Yeah, I've got to clear my name. Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff.
But swimming.
And the thing is, you know how to escape, like swimming through the thing, because your mom told you. Because you studied the blueprints as a child.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That scares me, though. My worst nightmare is being stuck somewhere underwater.
Yeah, it's very scary, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's a scary thought.
Like
Whenever
that sequence
people
in
are going
Titanic is
down
pretty
into
bad, isn't it?
I can't watch it.
Caves and things as well. I just think there's nothing I want to do less than spelunk.
There's an amazing scene in... I don't know whether Mum did this on purpose because maybe she knew it was my worst fear, but in the book White Scar, there's a bit where... What's the name of the character? I can't remember. But my character gets stuck in a cave and the water's rising.
Oh
it's
my
like,
god,
I
that's
have to-
horrid.
I
She
have
wanted
like,
to introduce a
swim.
new idea for when you're next having too many red fruit pastels.
You could go in the cave, Chloe,
Be like,
and the
think
water
about
could
the
rise.
cave.
Okay,
I
can we?
hate that. I hate that thought. That makes me feel upset.
We're gonna shift gears,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go extended family. Talk to me about your lineage. Talk to me about Ancestry.com. Talk to me about 23andMe. What do you know?
This is actually such a good, fun podcast. To, like,
Thank you.
just remember things.
Yeah, do some remembering.
It's quite.
Come along
I
with
feel a
us
bit
on a remembering
self-indulgent. Is that okay?
No, talk as much as you humanly can.
Okay. Okay. I've got a nan and a granddad. They were called Betty and Danny, and they lived in Bromley. And I had a grandma. My grandpa died before I was born, and my grandma was from North Wales,
Okay.
in a little place called Chirk.
Have you been?
Yes, I have been to Chirk, actually. It's incredibly beautiful. And Grandma had an amazing life. She grew up in this small place with her family and a couple of brothers and her sister who was disabled. And it was like an interesting time to have like like a sister with sort of like a mental disability, because like it was very much like we keep her in the home, and she's our responsibility. But it was also really sweet, like they would also like play with her and take her out and never make her be Princess Leia, that sort of thing. But what was cool, my favourite story that Grandma used to tell me about growing up in Chirk is that it's really near to Liverpool, and I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but there's like this big sort of like rolling like field and hillscape which is between Chirk and Liverpool. And what they would do during the World War II, they would light up the field so that when the bombers came over, they thought it was Liverpool.
That's
Magic
so
Owl.
cool.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So then she would just like stand on like, you know, the edge of Chirk, just watching the fields burn because the bombers had just bombed it. But like, how cool is that as a memory?
Crazy.
Oh
and then
my god!
And then they would like once the fire was out, they would go running and like search for stuff and like look at the sort of the debris and all of this.
Oh wow!
Of course, as you would.
Yeah.
That's fascinating for a kid. That's crazy.
How cool is that?
That's so cool. I mean, all the stuff that was like, or like the tarps that they did that were like printed like houses, or the weird like black and white pattern they put on ships. Do you remember that like goes in two directions?
Dazzle, whatever it's called.
I think so.
Dazzle.
And then you don't know which way the ship is going because of the pattern. On it.
Like, it's so funny, isn't it? Like, so much of warfare is just like cartoon shit.
Yeah.
The Looney Tune approach.
The Looney, yeah. Just like drawing a tunnel on a cliff face. Yeah. So that, and then they were all just quite working class, and then so Grandma met. I think she moved to London to become a nanny. And I think she was going to become like a nurse, but she couldn't pass the test for some reason, which was weird.
That happened to
smart.
my grandma.
No
Who was
way.
very smart, and she did work.
Imagine
for a
if
long time.
we found that we had the same
Oh my
grandma
God,
and the
I
same
actually love
birthday.
that. I think that would be exciting. With my grandma, she was sort of a nurse. She was working as a nurse, but she had an allergic reaction to something, and because she was getting rashes from something medical, she was not able to become a full nurse. So I think there were things like that like.
Whereas my grandma was just stupid.
No, that can't be.
No, she wasn't
it.
stupid. I don't know why she
That
couldn't
can't
do
be
it.
No, but I think there are just. What I'm saying is like there are just all kinds of mad reasons why.
Yeah.
Maybe today that would be an
Colorblind or
issue.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so then she moved to London, and I think she became a nanny, and then she met my grandpa, and they would go dancing and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. And
Why was he in London?
he came from Enfield.
Very good. So just
knocking
there,
around.
just there,
and
around.
he loved trains. He worked on the trains. He absolutely loved trains. And Mum would always be like, they would go on holidays, and like he would sort of track their route. If say they were going to like Scotland, he would be able to get them from Sittingbourne to Scotland on trains. And then like if they got lost somewhere, he'd be like, we're in Wimbledon. The next train is
he just knew.
from 13. Like he would read timetables. So maybe there's a bit of autism going on.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I will. I will.
He knew about the train timetable in detail.
But there's no. I don't think there's any other neurodiversity in my family. I can't think of any neurodivergent.
Well,
people
one
in my
grandpa sounds about right then. That's
But also
probably the minimum.
sounds an absolutely fantastic special skill.
Yeah, it's such a good special skill for all of those around him.
I love that. So as far as you know, English and Welsh?
English and Welsh, and then Nan and Grandad were English and English. And they, like, I think Grandad was like a carpenter or something like that. And Nan was a dinner lady.
English,
Classic
English, through and
Nan
through.
job.
English through and through.
Were they too young to fight in World War II?
Yeah, too young to fight in World War II, but they remember it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't, they weren't like, where did Nan grow up? She must have been Bromley as well, but I don't think they like had to do what's that thing? They weren't evacuees.
Okay.
They
I guess you're
stayed.
already a little bit out.
They were probably a little bit out, yeah. But yeah, they were a funny couple. They I think they just hit the age of 55 and then were like, we're elderly now.
That does happen.
And
Yeah.
it definitely did happen in the past.
Yeah.
I think
In a
even
way that
more so now.
J-Lo never will.
Yeah, it just could not like. Yeah, that is so funny. Like comparing my nan to J-Lo at 55.
Oh my God, when you see pictures, but even pictures of people our age and like, everyone just looked older all the time. Like,
But they were like putting asbestos in their lipstick and stuff
Really,
for that
yeah.
frosted look.
Yeah, but I think people would just like, I do remember it being discussed a lot when I was a child that people would like retire at whatever it was, 65, and then die. It would
just
be
like pass away.
Yeah, you just like would die like a couple of years later, and it's like people, and then that would just because they were just old then.
Also, I think the styling of people really aged them, because I did see a Photoshop photo of all of the Golden Girls with different haircuts, and they did look much younger.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's that like curl back.
Yeah.
Little old lady hair.
Nan had, what do you call it? Like a what? That wash thing.
A rinse, a blue rinse.
Blue rinse.
What the heck is a blue rinse?
Okay, you would love a blue rinse. You can get a blue rinse and a pink rinse, and I don't know why people have stopped doing this. It's absolutely fabulous.
On white hair?
Women with white hair would get a blue rinse.
Okay, that's cool.
So I
think
it was pink rinse then.
That's chic.
And old ladies were just doing that. That was like a cool. That was a chic thing to do.
It wasn't even feminist.
That sounds chic.
It's cool as hell.
So she sort of had red hair, and they just sat in there. They just sat in their chairs for ages. And we would go around every Sunday morning. Like, I play football at 9. We'd probably go around 10:30. The vegetables would be boiling for a 2 p.m. dinner time.
Mashed soft carrot pieces.
But if you can't eat them without dentures, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But, like, there can't be any nutrients left in it.
No, God, no.
No.
Anyway.
It's
or
just
color
for style.
of any
it's for
kind.
styling.
No, horrible.
Yeah, the obsession with the boiled vegetable. I don't even think I've eaten a boiled vegetable since my nana stopped cooking for us.
I still like a boiled vegetable.
What are you boiling?
I'll just boil some cabbage and then put some butter and salt on it.
All right,
does
cabbage,
sound
I understand.
delicious.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I say something really criminal?
Yeah.
Basically, I one time on my Instagram asked, why isn't that in the UK there's no sort of like just like grandma used to make food culture? Right? No, because there isn't, right? There really isn't. And so the amount of people who messaged me like foaming at the mouth saying, well, our grandmas died in World War II. And I was like, do you
grow up?
But I'm also just like,
You
do
wouldn't be
you
alive.
think you're the only country affected by World War II? And other countries have good food. Sorry. Italy. France. Japan.
Yeah, we have the worst
Good food.
Yeah, we have terrible food. And particularly, like, we had no food culture.
I won't go as far as to say Germany has good food, but I will say other countries also fought in World War II and they have good
parents
food.
reminisce, and have done several times in my lifetime, about the introduction of hummus to supermarkets.
Yeah, every single one of them. I remember when I saw my first avocado.
Literally all like that. When Marks and Spencer started doing oven-ready meals. I've heard that story about 15 times.
I don't trust the microwave.
That is, yeah. Do you think it has something to do with this like British like puritanical thing where like enjoying food too much or like spices and things is considered like indulgent or gay?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Is it gay to add pepper? A question.
Because there is this sort of like almost like nobility and being like just fucking mash. Like there's a sort of almost like moral superiority to a very simple meal.
I will defend the roast. Do you know what I mean?
I reject that.
I like
if
the
you need
roast.
to make gravy.
Olga wants the roast.
I'm sorry. If you need gravy to moisten your meal's too dry. Cook it
It's
better.
delicious.
No.
Guys, this is Stockholm syndrome. That you like the
Yum,
roast
yum,
because
yum.
you
you didn't grow up
You're
with.
wrong.
Okay.
We'll take you and we'll show you a good roast.
Yeah.
The roast that my nan and granddad made, criminal.
But in theory, elsewhere, there is a good roast.
yeah, elsewhere there is good roast. I think, the roast can be elevated to something quite excellent. Yeah, I don't really know why it is. I think we're just, again, like, I guess because there's, like, such working class culture, like, maybe it's, like, affordability or lack of knowledge or, like, lack of importation of, like, things like pasta.
Right.
In the 70s.
I also think industrialization. I think the idea that I think the UK industrialized quicker and more and earlier than a bunch of other European countries, and the idea of like the whole family living in the same house and your grandma watching after your kids while you work and the grandma sitting at home cooking for everyone, that whole thing wasn't happening in the UK.
And I also guess
That's true.
I guess like there was a real like tendency to like cheap high calorie foods that could sustain you down the mine all day.
Yeah.
Like now I love to eat a suet pudding, but I don't.
What a sentence from you.
But
Hello.
I don't need to eat a suet pudding.
I don't need to eat a
Because
suet
look, I would say like a large proportion of my week is spent podcasting.
Yeah, you're not physically.
You don't need a suet pudding to
hammering.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, so
You're not physically hammering.
You're taking up a parcel of dough with you into the mine, while in Spain they're having 4 siestas a day.
Exactly. They need to work harder on the continent. You know, great British work ethic.
Chloe's a star. I have seen their show at this year's Edinburgh Fringe, and it fucking rocked my world. So please buy tickets. I have been Olga Koch.
Am I saying my name again?
Yeah, why not?
You say who you are.
I've been Chloe Pett.
I've been Charlie Dinkin. The theme tune is written by Ronan Shields.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.